I've just always been a fan of pop melodies. Like I've always been a fan of melody and song structure, and that is the Motown upbringing. That is the Beatles upbringing. I've always been drawn to that, but I also think it is important to say something in the lyrics. It's a waste of melody, and it's a waste of spotlight to not say what you feel.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still.
We've been working for a long time on this new album, and it's not to say that the 10 songs that we're putting out are necessarily what we've been working on for the last 4 years. It's just been a long process. We went into the studio kind of going after this album in the way Prince or Paul Simon or Elvis Costello would go after a record. They'll write 100 songs, and they're really prolific artists. I mean, they're the type of songwriters that can sit down and write a song about anything. And I think what we realized in the end was that what works for them might not necessarily work for us. Like, we need to know what is needed of us. We need to know that it's 10 songs, 12 songs. It could be 20 songs, but we need to know that. We need to be able to step in and say, here's the 20 best songs we could write. It seemed like it took a long time, but I think in reality, this album probably took about the last year. I mean, we probably have 4 or 5 albums worth of songs and material that's just gonna sit until we feel like putting it out. It's all really cool stuff. It's Mike D and Danger Mouse and home produced music too. It's really cool, and it's really gritty, and there's great wordplay and great sounds. But to finish this album, we had to take a step back and throw everything out.
So we named our new album Woodstock, which I know it was a long time ago specifically, but we are very inspired just by that entire movement. I mean, when we first saw footage of that when we were kids, honestly, it was we've come to learn what it was all about, you know, as we grew up. But when I first saw it, literally, I think that was the first time I saw a large gathering of people happy. Any other time I was watching a war movie or there was some kind of angry mob. And so it really just instantly connected with me as a kid, and then growing up and realizing where it came from and everything that was going on socially and politically in the United States, the Vietnam War, Nixon and the White House, all the fear that that was generated, and watching this resistance and this kind of awakening and a singular consciousness. It was seeing music inspire people, and then watching people inspire that artist to make music, and then knowing that, I mean, Kurt Cobain listened to those songs, and then he did what he did, and that in turn made us, you know, pick up a guitar. It's just really about where things come from, and then where they end up, and where they hopefully go in the future.
For me, the Richie Havens sample on the record is, it just represents every bit of the reason I play music. It was my dad showing me that the footage from Woodstock, and seeing Richie Havens' performance, and seeing him open up with this riff on Motherless Child, where he's just really going for it, and it's this raw, passionate performance. It was the first time I had ever seen somebody really deliver something that, I mean, just real. Like, he was really giving his all, and that image has been stuck with me forever. And I think it perfectly represents the way all of us are feeling. And even if the song isn't about that, it's just that feeling of getting on stage and saying something. That's what Woodstock is for us. I think Woodstock is just about people getting together and being passionate.
And it was interesting learning that how you learn feelings and learn things about yourself. I mean, when we first saw that, we saw that guy just pouring it out on stage, but we didn't even know, it was like, did his dog just die? Like, how do you relate that to what that guy's feeling to a kid? And you have that as something to obtain. You have to go out in the world and find something, learn as much as you can to even come close to get at what he was feeling and what he was projecting onto that crowd. It's just really, it's something to aspire to forever.
I mean, I wanted this album to sound like Motown meets Missy Elliott meets Blur meets Queens of the Stone Age even. Like, I wanted to have a little bit of everything. And I wanted to do it the way Missy Elliott and Outkast sampled things. I mean, that's what we grew up on. And it's weird for a rock band to sample sometimes, but I feel like there's such great applications of it that they used to do all the time in the 90s. Like, every single song I heard on the radio would start out with a quote from a movie, and it would be a sample from a movie. We just wanted to choose our samples and use them in the way that we heard other people doing it. And I think it came out, it's oddly consistent. I feel like it flows really well, from Danger Mouse to John Hill and to Mike D. It's just a collection of music. It's a music compilation, basically.
Yeah, we wanted it also, I think we went into it thinking we were just focused and we were thinking very lean. Like we had said, we had wrote a ton of songs before that obviously went all over the place. And we had so many ideas in our head and we wrote so much that it was feeling a little unfocused to us. So when we decided to scrap all that and go back in and start fresh, we all had very focused ideas, and it was just very, very lean. And I think that's why a lot of it came out like that. Very precise. A lot more precise than we're used to.
So young, just begun. Don't need to live to
We've had a lot of lineup changes over the years, and a lot of it comes from just touring as much as we do. We're constantly on tour. We are always doing something. We're always in the studio. And it's just hard on many people.
It's very demanding.
I mean, if you think about the amount of people we've had in the band, most of them have quit. I mean, we haven't had to fire that many people. It's just been, we're going and going and going. We already have the songs. Sorry. Like, it's just the way this band works. Like, we write a lot of music, and it sucks. I see that it's something that everybody wants to be involved in, but it's the way the band approached music. The band would say, who's got the best riff? Who sings this the best? If you can sing it the best, you can do it. Who's got the best lyric? And I mean, it's hard being the best. Yeah, oddly enough, this is pretty close to our original lineup. Everybody in the band right now we went to high school, I went to elementary school with Eric Hawk, our guitarist. Jason is our original drummer. Kyle O'Quinn played on and helped produce Church Mouth for us, and toured with us on a bunch of things. So it's actually, oddly enough, this is basically our original lineup. I didn't get into music to be on stage or be in front of people, or, I mean, have I ever really wanted that? It's just never been a part of who I am. Music to me should be able to speak for itself. And if I'm being honest, I wish I had that personality that could get up on stage. I mean, seeing Casper do it in the States was amazing. It's amazing to see somebody who has that talent and that ability. But our talent lies in music and transitions and playing together as a band. And to do that, you have to pick one or the other. You're either going to focus and play together as a band, or you're going to be taking selfies on Instagram and talking on stage and trying to be the front man of the year and Rolling Stone. It's not what we're there for. We don't care. I mean, those bands all have laptops on stage. We don't need it.
What's up? We're Portugal the Man on Diffused. Subscribe now.